everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Engineering Zindabad. I'm Pragati Agrawal, and today what we will be doing, we will be learning how to connect our button to a particular functionality, and on clicking them some function should get performed. So we were creating scientific calculator using that. We will be learning that today. So let's do that. Okay, so we have already called setup UI and retranslate UI. Those were the functions present in current UI.py file. So these are those two functions, right? Setup UI is there and retranslate UI is there. This one. Okay, we have already called these inside our new main code. Now what we have to call that function that makes those functionalities connect to our buttons. So when we click those buttons, when the user clicks those buttons on our scientific calculator, then those functions should happen. Okay, so on clicking 7, the 7 should come on the top label. What am I saying? Let me open Chrome for this and see here. In the scientific calculator, here we have a scientific calculator, right? We will see. Okay, so you can see here, this is the label, right? On this, on clicking any of these buttons, we can see our text getting displayed. These numbers, when we click on them, they get displayed here, right? So this is the first functionality that we will be adding to our code in order to understand how to connect buttons to our functions. Okay, so let's do this. So we will be creating this function with the name init UI, okay? And what this init UI will be holding, let's create this first, and it goes self inside, the self goes inside it. Now what we have to do, we need here the connection to happen. This will be connecting, okay, this function init UI will be connecting the functions with their respective buttons. Okay, now to create those functions, like what we are doing, we will be creating those functions that should be performed on clicking the respective buttons inside a new class. We will be creating those button functionalities. Let's give this a name, button functionalities, this class a name of button functionalities. Okay, and this button functionalities will be inherited by our main window class, button functionalities. Okay, now what we have to do, let's pick up our first button to which we need to add the functionality. Let's hit that UI file, UI Python file. Okay, here we can understand that which button, what is the name of these buttons, all these buttons. So the name of this button numbered 7 is button 2_4, and so on. Like for 8 it is button 2_5, and then for 9 it is button 2_6. So what we will do, we will create functions for all these buttons, like button 2_4 is the button for 7 number. Okay, and what we will give it a name, button 2_4 functionality. That means on clicking this button 2_4 that is numbered 7, this functionality should run. Now inside goes self, and what functionality should happen, this labels text, this label that we have, self.display label. Okay, dot set text, what text we need to set to it. The moment we click this button numbered 7, this function should happen, this should happen. What should happen? This text should be set. What text should be set? 7 should be set, right? Like when we are clicking here 7, then we are getting 7 here, right? Let's clear everything. See, the moment I click 7 comes here. This needs to be set. So to set 7, we will here create a variable holding this digit 7, and also the label data. Why label data? Which label data am I talking about? This labels data. So when I click 8, now it holds 78. So now if I click 9 after this, then after this 78 should come 9 and not 9 separately, right? So for this, what am I doing? I am creating two variables, one for this label data, and the label data is currently nothing. Okay, an empty string. That's why single quotes. Now what data we need to set on clicking 7 numbered button, this button 2_4, that is 7 number. So we will write button 2_4_ data. What is the data that we need to set? We need to set 7. Okay, now to set 7 we will come here. Currently you can see that this variable label data, it isn't global. So in order to make any changes to it inside this function that is present inside a class, what we need to do, we will need to make it global first. So we made it global. Now we will take a new variable for holding a new data. Why new data? See, let's clear everything. The moment we click 7, okay, so current data is 7. Now when we will click this 8, this 8 should have this earlier data as well. So we will take this earlier data, and on clicking this 8, it became 78. So for that we need to set the new data. Every time we click a new number, it should come inside that string. Okay, so we are doing this, that new data. What is the new data? It is the label data, the current data, that is empty, plus what data we need to set for this button 2_4, that is 7. So we will say it should be converted to string, since string and number, that is integer format, is not appendable. So what we are doing, we are converting it to string, and then it is button 2_4_ data. And now this new data, and what we will be doing, right now the label data on starting an app, when we will run it, it is empty. But then what will happen, this data will change. Okay, on each time we will be clicking buttons, this data is gonna change. It will get updated, as I told you, right? On after writing 8 after 7 changed the data to 78 from 7, right? So that's why what we will do, we will say label data is equal to new data. Okay, now we will be in the display text, what should come? Every time we will hit that button, this new data that will come, this earlier label data will come. Okay, in one new function we will create for other button, similar function, that where this label data will already be picked, and then this new data will be appended. So this new data should come inside this new data. Okay. Okay, so where is the error? This red color, we can see there is one error, it is showing up. I don't know where is it. Okay. We haven't, till now we have created the function only. Okay, we have only created the function that needs to run, that needs to run the moment we click that button, that will be connected to it. But now we haven't connected a button to this function that should run on clicking that button. So in order to connect this, inside this init UI function that we have created just now, and we have also called it inside the constructor, if you are unable to understand these basics of Python, like constructor runs on its own the moment this object, in order to create this object, right, and for variable initialization, and we can put all these functions inside it. The moment we will run the app, the code, this will get automatic, like this will run on its own. We don't have to call it explicitly, but in order to put these functionalities explicitly, we need to define it. So in order to understand all this basic stuff, you can check out the playlist. I have already taken up the basics of Python that you need to know if you don't know what is this. Okay, so for now we will be connecting the functions with the respective buttons. So let's do this. For button 2_4, it is 7 numbered button. So let's connect this. So what we will say, self dot which button it is, button 2_4, yes, dot clicked dot connect. This is the way of connecting it. And now inside the bracket we will write the functionality to which we have to connect this button. Okay, so the functionality is button 2_, it will be inside self dot button 2_4_func. Okay, that's it. This is what is required. On clicking 7, you can see here on the label now the data is 7. And similarly, for let's do it for some 2 or 3 more buttons, and that's all. Like for 8, 9 also, let's do this. Button 2 underscore 5 underscore data, the data is 8. Now button we can just copy paste it, we don't have to write it again and again. So let's just copy paste it and change the name of the function. It is for 8 numbered button, right? So it is 8, and so button 2 underscore 5 underscore data instead of 4, and yes, that's it. See, now you can see here this label data. Now if we clicked 7 first, this label data will be holding 7, and to that 7 we will be appending this new 8. Okay, so this is the way it is functioning. Okay, we are done with these two functions. For 8 also we have done this. Let me connect this function to this button. Self dot button 2 underscore 5 dot clicked dot connect self dot button 2 underscore 5 underscore func. That's it. Now it will run, and already this button will be connected to their respective functions that are present inside this class, that is inherited by main window class. Now let's run this. Okay, so 7 has come. Now we are expecting the moment we will click 8 will come appended to 7. Next to 7 we will find 8. See 7 7 7. So yeah, that's it. This is the way we add functions to the buttons. Now in the next lecture, what we will be doing, we will be performing expression calculation. Okay, so we will be adding functionalities for for that part, for all the buttons. Now we have done this we will be doing the same thing for other buttons as well. I don't want to waste my time here, like I don't want your time to get wasted just watching this replication happen for all other buttons. This is the same thing that you have to do for other buttons. You have to simply append the data and update it on the label, and you have to connect it in this new function, and then you have to put this function inside constructor in it. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much. If you liked the video and if you understood the things, it's my request to you to please subscribe this channel and like my video, comment on it, and if you're finding any problem, if you have found trouble understanding something, then do mention that as well. Thank you so much.